Hello everyone, it's me, TONIK TZW, and the other night on live stream somebody asked me to play a Tier 7 French Destroyer and I didn't have one, so I went out and bought the Fantasque and took it into a game and I did absolutely awfully in it. Mainly because I have no idea how to play the French Destroyers, because I haven't touched them in such a long time. They take a lot of skill to play well, and I'm not quite there yet. But we are here on Tears of the Desert. It is that god-awful game mode of Epicenter, which I absolutely hate. Because if I was in a gunboat, I'd be fine. I'd be in the cap and I'd be fighting and contesting. This isn't quite a gunboat. It's not bad, but it isn't the boat to be contesting capture points in against other destroyers. Now, as far as build goes in this game, I'm still tweaking with the builds. I did ask a great guy by the name of Axel Forbauer, who goes by the PlayStation tag of, I think it's the Black Priest 14. He pretty much plays destroyers all the time, and he is very, very good in the French destroyers. So I asked him for some advice on a build, and I've been tweaking my build a little bit and playing with it, trying to find something that fits into my groove. So not trying to play the boat exactly as somebody else plays it, but trying to tweak the boat and play it in a way that I can play it to best effect. Now, in this one, we are screening this flank. We aren't going straight for the cap. I know it's Epicenter. I know I say that cap's a king, but our other destroyer is heading in there. He's got lots of ships covering him, and I can see that there is something running hard and fast out on this flank, and that has got to be a destroyer. And letting a destroyer run down the flank is a very, very bad thing, especially if he gets around behind your teammates. So what I'm trying to do is screen for these two battleships that are behind me. Now I know I've got a Brandenburg behind me, and I'm thinking, awesome, if I can stay within secondary range of the Brandenburg and I can get the destroyer spotted, then I don't need to fire my guns. Because when you hit the engine boost on this thing, the detectability drops to 4.4 kilometers, which is even better than the Japanese destroyers. But we get the Kagero spotted there on the flank, and we decide to hit the reload booster. We go guns on them. We're trying to do as much damage as we can. We get a fire, our engine's knocked out, but we're turning, keeping the guns on, and I'm expecting a full salvo coming over any time from those guys behind me, but it's not there. It's not there. I'm telling them where the destroyer is. It's visible, but no. All people are interested in is the big hits on the big ships, and so I decide that I'm going to pull back because he's got two big ships with him too, and guess what? Their big ships are shooting at me. So yeah, we aren't going to hang around out there. We're going to pull back and let these two do what they can. We're screening for the torpedoes. We see them coming. Now that guy is running a smoke screen on his Kagero, which means he doesn't have a torpedo reload. So I've just got to watch out for two sets of 4 torpedoes and then wait a little bit longer before I need to think about where I'm going or what I'm going to do. Now, I want to support these guys, but at the same time, I want to be in the cap because Red Team have pushed that cap to the centre hard. This Scharnhorst and his matey boy there in the Gleis now are really pushing this flank hard. There's torpedoes there. I imagine that Scharnhorst has got a good secondary build on it. He's got torpedoes, and I'm hoping that these two guys that I'm screening for really know what they're doing. Now, as far as torpedoes go, I discovered one thing with the Fantasque that I don't like about it. It does have 3 sets of 3. I think there's something like 76 or 79 knots. I think 76 knots. But even though it appears to be a narrow arc, once you get out to a bit of a range, they are spread quite wide. And also, you tend to have two launchers on one side and one on another. And that'll become apparent when I realise that I may have made a mistake a little bit earlier in the game. But they're not fast. They're not super fast torpedoes, and they've got, I think, a 1.8 kilometer detectability, which means that a lot of ships see them coming a long time before they actually get there. As we could see with those two guys, they're more than able to slow down and maneuver to get through them. So this is something I need to start thinking about, is how I can best use those torpedo spreads. Do we go 1, 2, 3 and split sort of center, left and right? But we're going to give it a go. We're going to give it a go. Now, if you're a battleship captain and you're fairly new to the game, one thing that you will know is when you get targeted by ships, certainly by a destroyer, you'll get a little icon that comes up and shows a target with the number of ships that are targeting you. So if you're getting lit up, and you get that target indicator, and it normally appears on about the 2 o'clock position of the screen, a little orange symbol. Now I want to get torpedoes off here, but this battleship has decided that he wants to turn full broadside, thereby blocking my arcs, blocking my fire, and I can't hang around here, because if I get into secondary range of those ships, I am absolutely shafted. These guys are obviously working on their missions towards their legendary mods and don't give a flying fig about the game. Yeah, it's those legendary mods have just turned this into a complete world of hurt for anybody that's actually trying to have a decent game. But he does get his torpedoes onto the Scharnhorst and sinks it, but in doing so goes out of the game himself. So the guys now, and the other battleship that was with that Brandenburg, they trade blows. Goliath now disappears. The Kagero is still out there, but Red Team have complete control of the capture point. And so I decide that now is the time to push in. I've been very much focused on what's been going on this side of the map. I can see that the Mainz is obviously still alive, is still out there in the center of the cap. Now is the time for me to push in and try and contest, because Red Team are going to tick up so many points controlling all three sectors of the map. It looks like the guys that were on the right flank have tried to counter what was pushing down there, but they've had to back up, but they are going to push in. And that is really going to be a help. But how much help it's going to be, I don't know. I want to try and push into this cap, and then I realise that my twist and track indicator is actually pointing behind me, and I'm thinking, what the F? So as I'm turning in, I can see this Mainz. I want to get him spotted, and hopefully this battleship on my left can put some fire onto him. But there's also a very high health Vanguard out there, and I play the Vanguard every now and then. I'm not great at it, but I know it can be dangerous. So the Mainz is there, he's spotted, I'm calling for fire on him, he's going out of torpedo range, I'm detected, that means the Kagero's here. I've hit my gun reload booster way too soon here. As I said, I'm still trying to learn to play this game, and I hit my engine boost by mistake, but all I'm going to do is try and zip past this guy as quick as I can. But one of the battleships, thankfully, has got his head tuned in, and he picks up the Kagero, even though I think the job was done. Really, he would have been better shooting at the Mainz, I think, on that occasion. But thankfully the Kagero runs his smoke as he gets into a wrangle with me. That allows me to drop detection from that Mainz, and now I'm going to turn around and continue to spot for the guys that are left alive. It is 4 plays 3. We have a ship advantage, but we do not have a point advantage. We are what? 300 points down? More than 300 points down. We've turned games around from this far back before, but it is never easy. Certainly not with the ships that are left. There is a very, very, very nasty ship on the left hand side there. I want the cap, but in doing so, what I'm doing is I'm getting a ship on my flank. I've got a ship to my front, a ship that I don't want to wrangle with, the Mainz. And we've got that Vanguard there, who I imagine will probably have HE loaded and be wanting a piece of me. But I'm just going to keep spamming torpedoes out across here and try and push this mine back and pray that the team are going to get the shots on, because if we can get rid of him, I'm so much more comfortable in the center of this map. As it is, everybody knows where I am. All they have to do is spot me and I'm gone. So we're looking out here. The cruiser is rushing in and I'm wondering if he is going to survive. I want the mines gone. Please, please. There we go. Look, I'm saying focus the mines, focus the mines, focus the mines. Get on the mines, get the cruiser, get him off the map. I will keep him spotted, but I'm not going to let myself get within range of him. He's gone. That means we can push back into that center section. The Vanguard takes out the Brandenburg, who had pulled in right beside a rock on the left flank. Now I know that the cruiser out there has no competition whatsoever. I'm expecting this Vanguard to push through. I slow down. I perhaps should have kept going forwards and touched that center cap earlier. I can see the spotter plane up. I'm going to nudge forward. My AA is on, and hopefully I can knock that spotter plane out of the sky, and that will give me freedom of movement right here in the middle of the donut. The Vanguard is playing with that little island. He is screening himself from torpedoes. I do get spotted by the spotter plane, and the Vanguard realizes that I'm pushing through. He's backing up, and I shouldn't have put that second spread there. I should have anticipated what he was going to do, and as soon as I fired them, I realized that he knows I'm here now. He's going to go forwards, and you'll see now that his throttle is changing. He's moving forwards, and so I'm looking, thinking, what is he going to do? Is he just going to sit behind the island? They know they have this on points, easily on points. All they have to do is stay alive. They're nearly 500 points ahead of us now. We're contested on the cap. That's the Vanguard that's holding the outer ring. You know, looking at it, it's not looking good. There's literally a sniff over 2 minutes left on the clock, but we did put that last spread of torpedoes out there. I'm looking for where this cruiser is. I'm moving back across the cap because I want to drop the Vanguard from perceptive, and I want to pick up the other ship and get an idea of where he is on this side of the map. And there we go. He's going to come round the corner. 1 minute 45 on the clock. We get the Vanguard. We bring it back to, what's that, 270 points, and it's the Otago. There is a time to die. That time is now. There is only one way in which we can win this game, and that is if this Otago dies. And here is where we only have a single set available. The Otago is absolutely ripping me to pieces, but that is an absolute clutch. With 1 minute and 5 seconds on the clock, we bring home a victory. Only 70,500 damage. We take the flesh wound quite gratefully. We get 2 kills, we get 3 solo caps, and we finish with over 3,000 base XP, which I know is based mostly on taking those solo caps. But I played that game as well as I could, given the situations that I was put in. So I hope you've liked watching this one. I'm going to do a few more Fantasque videos just to give people an idea of how I'm finding learning to play them. So hang around and click one of these links, and if you haven't already done so, please do click that subscribe button and help me reach 800, because we're past 700 now. Take care and goodbye.